For those who transferred, when did you begin your transfer applications? And was that enough time or not? And are there any lessons learned that you'd like to pass on to the students that we have on the call today?
For myself, I've actually been to community college 3 times at this point. Right in Running Start, I went to Bellevue College, then I went to South Seattle to get a trade degree, and then I went back to school and I went to the, Cascadia College. So all through those times, I was very afraid of even trying to apply to university, and I finally was going for it, so I was very focused this time, and I worked with a, academic advisor constantly. I saw him every quarter. Am I doing this right? Am I taking the right classes? Are we on the right track? And even with being very diligent, trying to keep track of exactly when I would need to write an essay, I didn't know that different universities have different times that they accept applications. So for one of my applications, I turned it in like very early, and the other one I turned in the day before it was due when I had to pay all these special fees to get my transcript sent early. So one I was very early for, and one I was definitely not early for. So lessons learned on that would be to not have any assumptions and to have because when I realized my mistake, I made a calendar to say exactly write this part of the essay on this day. You're not going to have time this week because you have a lot of finals. So you're going to need to write that on the weekend and to portion out the time because it's really overwhelming to have these applications. It just seems like so much. But if you take little, like small sizes of it, it's a lot easier to do. So read everything on the website would be my.
So I just want to echo, it's really important to read the application and to like make sure that you're not just following the steps. Like, sometimes you think that it's really obvious what you're doing, but like one little mistake can make or break. And so I can tell you, I'm not always proud of this story, but now I kind of embrace it because it shows my perseverance. But I actually was denied acceptance to UW, and I got in based on an appeal process. And it turned out that the reason why my application was denied was because I inadvertently checked the wrong quarter of entrance. I said, well, I wanted to major in this particular major that you're supposed to apply in winter quarter, but I was applying in autumn. And so I was like, no, 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 but I'm applying in autumn because I know I need a prerequisite first for the major. And they're like, well, you should have put that in there. And so just like really paying attention, like thinking about, okay, what is my plan when I go to this college? What is their expectations? What are they specifically looking for? Because, a university is not going to take someone who puts on their application, well, I don't know what I want to do. Like, even if you don't know, that's completely okay, but kind of find something that shows them that when you get to the university, you're going to be successful and that you do have focus. Um, so that you don't, like, for me, like being more explicit about what my autumn quarter plan was would have made the difference, and I wouldn't have had to go through the initial trauma, oh my god, I didn't get into like the having to write a whole like appeal letter about like how, this doesn't reflect on me as a student that I overlooked this little detail. I'm very detail oriented, I promise, right? Like, so, just like that's something to think about. So like look, like for example, if you're going to the University of Washington, look at the course catalog, look at the different departments, like look at the UW Department of Biology, Department of Anthropology, whatever Department of Engineering that you want to look, and look at the things that they're looking for and they expect their students to have in place. And then make sure that everything you're doing on your application aligns with that.
I'd
Okay.
actually like to add based on what Annette was saying was also be sure that you understand applying for a major and applying for the university can be different. So one of the universities I applied for didn't have that process. This one it did. So I didn't apply for my chemistry major in time. And I could have been a chemistry major when I started because I worked really hard to get the prereqs. And then I had to start it late because I just didn't understand when I was supposed to turn in an essay for it. So I had this essay completely written and just had to wait a few months to do it again. So there's a lot of little details, and that's where it's really helpful to talk to someone else about it because it's hard to find that all out on your own.